Tech News, always brought to you by Nerds in a Flash. Yeah, the streaming war is getting underway with a crackdown on password sharing.
Yeah, a lot of people maybe will subscribe to one, like Disney Plus tomorrow, but not others, and then swap passwords with friends and family, so nobody has to subscribe to all of them. You've got Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Apple TV Plus, and so many more. There had been reports that companies are trying to come up with some way to stop the password sharing, maybe even fingerprint technology, but one expert says, don't worry about that.
I think they're going to make a lot of noise about it. I think it will be as effective as the music industry curbing piracy over time. This is something people want to do, and they're going to find a way to do it.
That's Verge editor Nilay Patel.
There you go. That's Fox reporter Jessica Ettinger. So the streaming wars, they're cracking down big time on your passwords.
Yeah.
We've got this story on my LinkedIn page at Todd Jeffries. 6:30. Now, check this out. More small businesses are using GoFundMe. Yeah, when you think of GoFundMe, you're likely think of individuals raising money for things like medical debt, natural disaster, maybe a new invention or whatever. But recently, thousands of small businesses, from mom-and-pop grocery stores to drive-in movie theaters, have launched crowdfunding campaigns across 19 countries. This all according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, unlike crowdfunding sites, GoFundMe lets its users cash out whatever they raise, regardless of whether they reach that goal or not.
Yeah.
It's a way to, if you need some help starting a business, get a GoFundMe account going, and you may find some investors globally to pitch in a few shekels to help you reach that goal.
Give me some money. Why don't they just call it what it is? Give me some money. Give me some of your money. I don't know you, but I want your money. I've never been really comfortable with GoFundMe. I know that for some people it's probably helped. I got that. I guess just me personally, if anybody cares about my personal feeling, I wouldn't be able to do it. But again, if you're in that position.
You'd rather them go get a loan and get deeper in debt to start that business.
Well, I guess I would rather you do that than ask total. To me, it's kind of like panhandling. Honestly,
it's digital panhandling,
and but at the same time.
But if people want to give, what's the problem?
There was one occasion where I did contribute on GoFundMe, but it was somebody that was very, very sick, and they I understood their situation and why they were there, and so I did.
You're so compassionate.
I'm not.
You think it's panhandling? You think it's business begging? Business begging.
I think in some cases it is. Yeah, I think in some cases it is. I think it's too easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll just set up this page and I ask people for money and they give it to me.
Well, not everybody has access to money the way you do.
I've never done anything where I've gone to people for money.
No.
So I haven't. It's just not how I operate.
No, you don't do that. You don't
ask for money. Well, I'm not starting business.
You don't ask for people for money. I understand.
I don't.
That's just not your thing.
I don't.
Even though you did it for 5 hours Friday morning.
Well, that's a different deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
723, a growing share of consumers are digging deeper into auto debts as they trade old cars for new ones. And they got some unpaid balances that they're tacking on to the new loan. The trend is leading to a rise of negative equity when borrowers owe more debts than on their new car than it's worth. Some 33% who traded in their cars in the first 9 months of 2019 were in this situation. That according to the Wall Street Journal. And with each successive trade-in and new loan, borrowers plunge a little bit deeper into debts, a scenario that is reminiscent of the last decade's, housing crisis. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
There is something, I think, there's a switch that turns off or on, depending on how you look at it, in somebody's brain, sometimes when they're looking at a car, and all of a sudden, a $700 a month car payment suddenly is a workable situation for somebody, and they just think in their mind, yeah.
But you embrace that love affair for cars.
Well, I do.
You do.
I do. I love cars.
But
I do. I mean, I right or wrong, I attach a little bit too much of myself to my car. It means it's always meant a lot to me. But there are a lot of people that just really get stupid. They get very stupid when they're sitting there at the financing table with Ed back there. And they go, yeah, I think we can swing that. I think we can make that work because you just want that immediate gratification.
And some people are in a desperate situation. They need a ride. They need a car to get to work.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah, I got it. But
on one hand, you love the love affair for a car, but on the other hand, you don't love the love affair because it can get you in a financial straits.
I've talked to someone who sold cars who was very honest with me and said, I cannot tell you how many times I have sold somebody a vehicle and I know in my heart that I am getting this person into a car that they cannot afford. But it's my job to sell the car, and I sell the car.
Right.
But I know this person is trying to stretch beyond the limits here, and
eventually
I shouldn't be doing that.
Eventually, the rubber band's going to snap, and it's going to hurt the auto industry.
Yeah, it will. It will. Absolutely. It sounds like we're on the way.
You get upside down in a car, you might not be likely to go buy another.
And I'm not
get even further upside down.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discourage people from going to buy cars. I'm not trying to in any way, shape, or form go buy a car. Just be smart about it. Just be smart. If you have to pay. If you're having to finance, some people would tell you, some financial experts would tell you, and I'm not one of them, but I've heard them say, if you have to finance a car, you can't afford the car. I've heard some people say that. There are probably a lot of different ways to look at that. It depends on how you want to spend the money, I guess. But some people will say, pay cash. If you can't pay cash for a car, you can't afford it. But it depends on what you can absorb, I guess. But some people just get stupid about it.
Speaking of cars, Waymo is, pulling cars out of Austin. We'll explain. It's their autonomous vehicles. We'll update you in tech news straight ahead.